Babes, good morning, good night, good whenever. Welcome back. This is the Snark side, and babes, this is your safe space.
If you are a returning snarker, hey, babes. And if you're new here, hey, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe because, babes, this is the mess.
Oh my gosh, and it is a colossal mess today. Like an overflowing, unhinged lineup of reality TV chaos.
Truly, the delusion across the Bravoverse right now is operating at maximum capacity.
Totally operating at maximum capacity. I mean, just to bait you guys right now with what we're getting into, we have leaked Bravo nudes that somehow supposedly look medical.
Quote unquote medical, yeah.
Right, quote unquote. We also have a reality star who honestly thinks like a 6-day anger retreat is going to cure a whole pattern of emotional abuse.
Which is just mathematically impossible, but we will get to that.
Yeah, we will get into the math of that. And oh, an absolute Housewives OG just secured a literal PhD.
Which I love. But, speaking of delusion running high, the delusion is running pretty high right here in this room today, too.
Oh, babes, it is. Because it is Thursday morning. And let me just tell the Snark Squad right now, you are not ready for the day ahead.
Absolutely not ready.
Because I am certainly not. Like, we are literally sitting here in our scrubs, and I can already feel the physical weight of the drill in my hand. Babes, dentistry is dentisting.
Dentistry is dentisting with an absolute vengeance today. Like, Thursday is that terrible psychological limbo.
Yes, limbo.
Right? Because the weekend is technically visible on the horizon, but you still have to stare into the gaping maws of, 14 different people.
Ugh, the unflossed teeth.
Exactly. Assessing their highly questionable flossing habits before you can even begin to conceptualize a Friday.
Honestly, the midweek burnout is just a chronic condition at this point. I am running purely on caffeine and delusion right now. My soul is tired.
Clinically exhausted.
Yeah, my lumbar spine is screaming at me. The patients are, well, they're being patients. But honestly, the after-work shenanigans are honestly what's keeping us alive.
Barely keeping us alive, to be precise. Because our after-work shenanigans are currently inducing their own specific brand of intellectual panic.
Babes, I am so stressed about tonight. Like, genuinely panicked.
The anxiety is palpable.
It is. Because for those of you who don't remember, we mentioned a while back that after work we're going to Italian class. Because, obviously, I speak Spanish, you speak French.
So naturally, why not Italian?
Right. It seemed like such a chic, intellectual idea.
Yeah.
I had this whole cinematic vision where we'd be these, sophisticated professionals bantering in flawless Italian over espresso.
Oh, the romanticization of adult language learning is such a devastating trap. We thought we were going to be mentally swiping through Tuscan villas.
Ordering truffles.
Right, ordering truffles. But the reality is just brutal, unyielding grammatical memorization. And here's the truly tragic part.
Oh, no. Don't expose us.
I have to. We haven't gone in almost 3 weeks. We have entirely abandoned the pursuit.
3 whole weeks. I have forgotten basically everything. The vocabulary is fully evaporated from my brain.
Totally gone.
I look at the workbook, and the words are just floating off the page like abstract art. I don't know my verbs. I don't know my nouns. Did you study it all? Please tell me you looked at the notes.
Practice. Nessuna possibilità.
Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely none. I looked at the book last night, felt a wave of profound existential fatigue, and gently closed it.
Babes, we are about to walk in there sounding like confused tourists. Like the people who just point at a menu and yell English words with an accent.
Hoping the volume bridges the language barrier. It's intensely humbling, honestly. You spend your whole adult life getting degrees, doing complex dental surgery, and then you walk into a community center at 7 p.m., and you can't conjugate the verb to be.
No, you literally feel like an academic prodigy for 5 minutes when you nail the pronunciation of grazie, and then you just short-circuit and forget the word for water.
It's pathetic, but let's be entirely real with the Snark Squad right now. The only reason we are even marginally motivated to show up tonight
is the teacher.
Is because the language teacher is ridiculously hot.
So hot. I am heavily distracted the entire time. I'm just staring, nodding, pretending I comprehend past participles, but my brain is just static.
We are essentially treating academic instruction like a highly confusing dating show. But, whatever gets us through the Thursday slump, we need dopamine.
We really do. And speaking of getting through the slump, we urgently need to address the liquid survival currently sitting in front of us.
Yes, the Snark Squad might notice things sound a little different with the ice clinking today.
Babes, things are completely different this morning. We switched it up. Babes, we've got McDonald's caramel iced coffee frappes on deck.
Look at them in all their golden caloric glory.
And honestly, I'm going to say it. These might be better than Starbucks.
It's a bold claim, but frankly, sitting here sipping this, it is hitting exactly the glycemic notes we need to survive the dental trenches today.
Oh, completely. But babe, speaking of Starbucks, can we talk about what the CEO said?
Yeah.
Because I'm still spiraling over this discourse.
We absolutely must interrogate this. It is peak corporate gaslighting.
It is.
So, Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol recently went on a media tour because every new CEO needs a microphone, and he had the absolute nerve to call their coffee prices, quote, really affordable.
I gasped. I literally gasped.
And we were talking about drinks that regularly range from $5 to $9, and he didn't stop there. He framed this astronomical cost as a premium experience.
A premium experience. Are we joking right now? Are we living in parallel universes? Babes, the 2 frappes together were like $9? Total. For both of us.
Exactly. So no, Mr. Starbucks, we actually cannot afford $9 coffee, not even on dentist salaries.
No.
And let's look at the math here. This man is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. To him, the difference between $5 and $9 is microscopically irrelevant.
It's not even a rounding error.
Right. But for normal people dealing with massive inflation, dropping $9 on a single daily beverage is an aggressive financial decision.
It used to be a cheap morning necessity. Like, you throw a couple crumpled dollars across the counter and go to work. Now you need to consult a financial planner before adding oat milk.
It's a luxury purchase masquerading as a morning routine.
In the premium experience delusion. Babes, if I am paying $9, I want a velvet cushion, okay? I want a classically trained harpist in the corner.
You want your name pronounced correctly, with reverence.
With extreme reverence. But what is the actual experience? It's like a waiting room at the DMV, but with green aprons.
And louder espresso machines.
You're standing in a mobile order mosh pit, getting elbowed by finance bros, or you're trapped in a drive-through line, wrapping into a busy intersection, giving you road rage before 8 a.m.
Charging luxury prices for that level of baseline daily trauma is pure delusion. It's fast food. Period.
Period. I'm sticking with the golden arches today. I feel incredibly financially responsible.
A rare combination for a Thursday. But, you know, as much as we are suffering under the weight of overpriced caffeine angst, if there's anyone having a worse Thursday morning than us...
Oh, I know where you're going.
It is undoubtedly the cast of Summer House.
Babes, the Summer House bloodbath is so real.
Because while we are failing at conjugating Italian verbs, they are failing at basic human decency and boundaries. They're dealing with a level of chaos that makes our language class anxiety look like a spa day.
It is a nightmare. Like, my heart is genuinely racing just thinking about what Wes Wilson woke up to.
The digital and interpersonal hacks. Let's establish the timeline here because it is brutal.
Please walk us through it.
So, Wes Wilson revealed on his podcast that the morning he was scheduled to film the Summer House Season 10 reunion, which films for 10 grueling hours, his Instagram and Facebook were completely hacked.
At the absolute worst timing.
And not just hacked, nude photos of him were systematically leaked online.
Literally right before he walked out on stage.
Yeah.
He said he found out moments before stepping under the studio lights. Babes, I cannot even fathom the sheer terror.
It's a massive violation. Non-consensual distribution of intimate imagery is a violation of bodily autonomy. It is terrifying.
Think about a Bravo reunion, too. They keep the studio freezing, you have early call times, you're mentally preparing to go to war about your relationship drama, and then boom, your private photos are all over Twitter. My knees would have given out.
I would have collapsed. But because this is Wes Wilson and because it's the Bravo universe, his defense regarding the nature of these photos requires some surgical analysis.
Oh my gosh, his excuse. We have to talk about the excuse.
Because it is hilariously tragic. He claimed, quote, "They're not even sexual. They look medical. I'm soft in all of them."
Medical. Babes, I was screaming at my phone. Medical.
I am chronically unimpressed by his explanation. He said they were taken in an old apartment near a sauna to check progress.
Checking progress.
Yeah.
What are we checking, Wes? Vascularity. Sweat evaporation.
Yes, let's be realistic about male vanity selfies. You are intentionally holding a camera, framing the shot, checking the lighting to highlight whatever muscular progress you think you have. It is self-admiration.
Nobody accidentally takes a clinical, full frontal photo in a dim sauna for health documentation. That is not a physical.
It's not. But calling them medical is accidental PR genius. It deflates the scandal and turns a compromising leak into a self-deprecating joke.
He even joked about getting a manscaped partnership out of it, which, you have to laugh so you don't cry. He literally said that. But he pleaded with people not to leak stuff, and he's so right. I'm sympathetic, even if the medical excuse sends me into orbit.
It highlights the collateral damage of reality TV. And remember, that reunion day was already destined to be ruinous. West called the taping the darkest form of therapy.
And the trauma didn't just affect West. The entire cast was shattered. Babes, Dura Levitan, and KJ Dillard literally had to physically flee to Mexico after the reunion just to recover.
They physically evacuated the country to regulate their nervous systems.
They went on Watch What Happens Live, and Dara admitted they just cried and talked for hours in Mexico. KJ said they needed it. Babes, what went down in that studio?
The collateral damage has deeply fractured the core group. We are watching fundamental betrayals of character. Which brings us to the epicenter of the current summer house seismic shift. Lindsay Hubbard is officially activated.
Oh, she is operating at DEFCON 1. Babes, Lindsay is fully icing out Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson.
Completely frozen out.
She is not speaking to them in any capacity.
Yeah.
Wes reportedly tried to reach out, and she has zero plans to ever respond.
We need to analyze this Amanda drama. It is entirely about the boundaries of loyalty. Lindsay has known Amanda for nearly a decade, but Amanda actively, consciously lied to Ciara Miller about Amanda's own romantic entanglement with West.
And West had previously dated Ciara. That is the ultimate violation of the girl code.
It is the foundational social contract of the friend group.
Right. And Ciara said she was actually way more hurt by Amanda's betrayal than West's. Because, like, a guy's a guy, but Amanda was in her inner circle. Lindsay is just fiercely protective of her friends, and she's furious at Amanda for looking Ciara in the eye and lying.
Lindsay is acting as the enforcer of social boundaries here. When the ecosystem fails, she becomes the immune system. But of course, whenever Lindsay makes a move, someone outside the Bravo universe has to insert themselves for clout. Enter Michael Rappaport.
Ugh, I am rolling my eyes so hard they're stuck in my skull. Why is he always doing this?
It's a documented behavioral pattern. He loved to spar with Bravo celebrities for engagement metrics. He fought with Portia, he got read by Kenya Moore, and now he's poking the bear on Instagram, calling Lindsay overrated.
He asked if it was time to let the Carl drama go, saying it's her only storyline.
Yes, asking, what else you got, Lindsay?
Babes, you do not poke Lindsay Hubbard. She is a sleeping bear, and Michael Rappaport just poked her with a hot curling iron. You get what you deserve.
A clinical, precise digital decapitation.
She went straight to the comments and was like, don't be a little butch. Did you forget? I just had a baby. She completely destroyed him.
I find it existentially embarrassing that a 50-something actor spends his free time picking fights with reality stars like he's a television scholar. It reeks of misogyny, and Lindsay rightfully eviscerated him.
Honestly, good for her. Set those boundaries. But looking at all this summer house chaos, the leaks, the broken friendships, fleeing to Mexico, it really makes you think about the psychological toll this environment takes.
It does.
Which is why I love the alumni who actually escaped and healed, because the contrast between those who got out and those who are still stuck in the mess is staggering.
It is a stark juxtaposition. Escaping the Bravo ecosystem is often the ultimate catalyst for profound growth. Look at Hannah Berner.
Yes, Hannah is thriving.
She left Summer House after season 5 amidst a storm of cast alienation, and her career trajectory since that exact moment has been a blueprint for pivoting.
She has a brand new Hulu comedy special, None of My Business.
Oh.
He co-hosts the Giggly Squad podcast. They wrote a book. And babes, they even secured a cameo in the new Devil Wears Prada sequel.
A phenomenal leap from screaming about household trash in a Hamptons kitchen.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating are her recent comments about her psychological shift.
Right.
She explicitly used the word healing to describe her pivot to stand-up comedy. She said instead of dealing with manufactured confines, stand-up let her connect authentically without a producer manipulating the context.
She said it made her actually want her voice to be heard. On a comedy stage, you hold the microphone, you dictate the pace. It shows that walking away from Bravo can be the biggest mental health glow-up ever.
Absolutely. It physically removes you from an environment designed to monetize your conflict. However, not everyone possesses the capacity for that growth. Some people leave one toxic environment to construct another right down the street.
Oh, boy.
Which brings us inevitably to the Valley, where emotional healing is practically illegal.
Oh my gosh, The Valley.
Yeah.
Babes, if any show just radiated dark, chaotic energy, it is this one. We have to talk about the unending saga of Brittany Cartwright and Jax Taylor.
The divorce paperwork is filed, but the mess is eternal. Brittany gave an update on her audio show recently. She confirmed they are officially prioritizing their 5-year-old son, Cruz.
Yes, and I am so genuinely proud of her for this. She is meticulously keeping him away from the toxic stuff. She's setting ironclad boundaries to protect her peace and her child's development.
Which is necessary. But then she dropped the update on Jax. On Watch What Happens Live, she confirmed Jax is sober, which commendable baseline achievement, but she followed it up by saying he is still Jackson.
Jackson?
A remarkably infantile term for a pattern of destructive behavior. I am entirely unimpressed. Sobriety does not magically cure a fundamentally chaotic personality structure. Jackson is just a cute rebrand for being a 40-something menace.
It's the absolute truth. You take the alcohol away, but the personality remains. But the bright spot is Brittany's dating life. She confirmed she's been single for over 2 years and is finally casually dating.
Taking it very slow.
Yes, just enjoying the butterflies again. She said moms deserve to have fun too, and yes, they do.
Go get those butterflies, Brittany. Independence suits her. But while she is extracting herself from a toxic marriage, another couple on the Valley is demonstrating deeply uncomfortable marital realities.
You mean Nia Sanchez and Danny Bucco?
The dynamic is becoming painfully difficult to watch.
Babes, the San Diego cast trip with the newborn. I was physically cringing at my screen. My stomach was in knots.
Let's break down the sandwich incident because it encapsulates the core issue. They are on a cast trip. Nia is visibly exhausted, holding a newborn, and trying to consume a sandwich.
Basic human sustenance.
The baby is actively kicking the sandwich. She looks at Danny and simply asks for help holding the baby so she can eat.
A completely normal request for a co-parent. And what does Danny do? Babes, he refuses. He explicitly says no because he wants to go downstairs and get a coffee first.
And he used this awful dismissive tone. He later called her excitement over a kid-free amusement park outing performative.
Performative. Because she was happy to not have an infant attached to her body for 5 minutes.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second. Just hear me out clinically. They have 4 children under 4. Severe sleep debt begins to mimic psychosis. Empathy centers shut down. Is it possible he isn't actively malicious, but just in primitive biological survival mode where his brain screams, I need a stimulant over, my wife needs help? He just wanted a vacation coffee?
No, absolutely not. Do not even try to play devil's advocate here with the physiological survival excuse.
Why not?
Because why is his survival instinct, I get to walk away and seek pleasure via coffee, while her survival instinct is, I have to hold the baby while starving? That is textbook weaponized incompetence.
Okay, that is a fair point.
It is the patriarchal outsourcing of emotional labor. There is no biological excuse for watching your wife struggle to eat, and deciding your caffeine craving supersedes her need for food. It's entitlement.
You know what? I concede entirely. You are right. Framed through the lens of entitlement versus shared labor, it is indefensible. It's a failure of partnership. He even admitted in a confessional that he's resentful of losing his freedom. Tamara Judge and Teddy Mellencamp completely eviscerated him on their show. Tamara literally dropped a furious fuck you regarding Danny's tone.
And Tamara is 100% right. Nia has been pregnant or postpartum for half a decade. Teddy asked if we're finally seeing the real Danny and Nia.
And the answer is yes. The crushing stress of 4 kids has stripped away the pageant smile veneer. Danny needs to radically recalibrate his behavior.
He needs a massive wake-up call that doesn't come in a coffee cup. But you know, while the West Coast men act like toddlers who can't hold their babies, the East Coast drama is serving completely different delusion.
Let's do a rapid-fire reality TV check-in. The grab bag is overflowing.
Oh, let's get into it.
Starting down south with Southern Hospitality, Bradley Carter and Emmy Sherritt are definitively officially done. The friendship is dead and buried.
The final nail in a messy coffin. Bradley said he has 0 plans to pursue reconciliation after the Season 4 reunion. And the core of this fracture is incredibly serious.
We need to explain this regarding microaggressions. Throughout the season, Emmy repeatedly called Bradley unsafe and accused him of stalking her.
Yes.
We must interrogate the historical weight of a white woman in Charleston labeling a black man a physical threat unsafe during a verbal disagreement. That word is a loaded weapon. It places a dangerous target on his back.
Exactly. And the most frustrating part is that all season, the cast, even her bestie Lake Rucker, tried to explain this to her. They tried to educate her on why that vocabulary is harmful, and she just refused to absorb it.
She played the victim, claimed she felt attacked by the education, and doubled down. Bradley realized someone who publicly walks back apologies isn't a friend. He surgically removed her from his life, and I applaud his self-preservation.
I agree he had to protect his peace, but it's sad when people refuse to learn. But
Yeah.
on a lighter note, in the Southern Hospitality universe, Maddie Reese and Joe Bradley.
Which defies all historical data.
Babes, Who would have thought they'd be the picture of stability? Maddie opened up about her celiac disease, GERD, and her severe fears of infertility. She told Joe she was terrified to look at her fertility test results and might need to freeze her eggs.
And Joe's reaction was surprisingly mature.
It's the biggest green flag. He didn't pull away. He pulled her in, said he's endgame, and said, "We'll have healthy babies one day. Apparently, I've got an army of swimmers." It was so soft and supportive.
I remain chronically skeptical of Bravo romances, but his willingness to verbally envision a concrete future was objectively cute. And they just announced on Watch What Happens Live that they adopted a Bernedoodle named Ozzy.
Ozzy, I die. And Joe said he's looking at engagement rings. I am unironically rooting for them. But speaking of rooting for things, the rumors about Leanne Rimes joining Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
The internet was transported back to the tabloid culture of 2010. Rachel Lindsay floated the rumor that Leanne was in the mix for a diamond.
And naturally, this summoned the final boss of Beverly Hills Shade, Brandi Glanville.
The absolute final boss.
Because, quick reminder, Leanne had a highly publicized affair with Brandi's husband, Eddie Cibrian, and married him. So the second Brandi saw this rumor, she took to X and unleashed fiery hell.
We have to analyze the anatomy of this tweet. It is a clinic in holding a decade-long grudge.
Read it.
Brandi wrote, verbatim, "I hope it's true about RHOBH. I mean, she got everything else of my husband, kids, boobs, Bronco, random illnesses. She might as well just be a housewife and finish it off once and for all."
Lethal. The casual mention of the Bronco. Brandi's commitment to petty shade is terrifying, and I respect it. She woke up and chose violence.
It is a meticulously crafted chronological list of grievances. But Leanne quickly shut the rumors down, saying, playing Dixie on 911, Nashville is enough drama for her.
Which is for the best, because nobody has the insurance for a Brandi tornado. But speaking of wild casting, Special Forces, World's Toughest Test Season 5.
An exquisite tapestry of absurdity. Mauricio Umansky and his daughter Alexia are allegedly joining. But the true wild card is the alleged inclusion of disgraced, expelled politician George Santos.
Babes, I cannot even compute this. And listen to me, Snark Squad. We are not taking political sides here.
Not at all.
This is purely about the reality TV absurdity. Picture Mauricio Umansky, who wears suede loafers and sells Bel Air mansions, doing military obstacle courses in the mud next to a man globally famous for fabricating his entire life.
It is surreal entertainment. Elite military operatives screaming at a man whose public persona is a labyrinth of falsehoods while Mauricio tries to network with him.
Will he even survive the first day? It's
Yep.
unhinged. But you know, it isn't unhinged. Actual educational growth. We have to celebrate Dr. Alex McCord.
A remarkable achievement. Alex McCord, who iconically stomped around early RHONY in Herman Munster shoes, just received her PhD in clinical psychology in Australia.
Yes, Simon Van Kempen was gushing over her in the comments. And my favorite part was a fan joking that Dr. McCord needs to treat Kelly Benjamin first.
A historically accurate clinical assessment. Scary Island was a psychological case study. It's fitting she made analyzing behavior her actual profession. Also elevating professionally. João Franco, from Below Deck Down Under, is officially done with Bravo.
Done forever.
Done completely. He achieved his real-world goal. He is officially the captain of a massive superyacht in the private sector. He said regarding the show, "I think I've outgrown it."
Babes, honestly, good for him. It's like living in a chaotic college dorm where people throw drinks and cry at 3 a.m. And then you graduate, get a real job, and move into a luxury penthouse where nobody screams at you. He outgrew the Bravo yacht.
A perfectly apt analogy. He smartly exited before the gravitational pull of the platform dragged him backward.
Okay, babes, I need us to take a collective deep breath. We're going to pivot right now. We love petty drama, but sometimes the real world crashes in with serious, heavy consequences. We have to talk about Lindsay Chrisley, and it needs to be handled with care.
It is a sobering reminder of the terrifying realities these figures face off camera. Lindsay recently won custody of her dachshund, Oliver, from her ex-boyfriend, David Landsman. But the context is deeply disturbing.
Trigger warning for severe domestic violence, guys. The dog is just a small piece of a life-threatening situation. David was recently arrested for aggravated assault via strangulation and battery against Lindsay.
According to police filings, he allegedly attacked her on April 10th. When authorities arrived, they found visible bruises on her neck and body. She alleged this wasn't the first time he strangled her, detailing a February incident over the dog where he forcefully held her down.
It is absolutely terrifying. My heart is in my throat reading this. Thank goodness the legal system worked. A judge ruled he has to return Oliver within 48 hours, and they agreed to a mutual no-contact order.
A strict one. They must stay 500 yards away from each other at all times until May 2027. Crucially, David is legally banned from going near Lindsay's young son, Jackson, because Lindsay claimed David had allegedly attacked Jackson in the past.
I feel such profound relief for her and Jackson that these legal boundaries are in place. When kids are involved, the terror multiplies. I'm so glad she has a legal shield around her family now.
It emphasizes the horrifying dichotomy of reality fame, projecting a quirky brand while fighting for your physical safety privately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are sending so much love to her. And, while we're on setting hard boundaries with toxic men, Allie Eklund from the McBee Dynasty has drawn a line in the sand with Stephen McBee Jr.
Stephen demonstrated a staggering lack of self-awareness. After the Stagecoach cheating drama, he sent Allie aggressively abusive, manipulative texts, a pattern his other ex, Calah Jackson, confirmed. Facing backlash, Stephen announced a 6-day retreat for his anger problem.
6 days. Babes, 6 days of deep breathing in the woods does not fix a lifelong pattern of emotional abuse. And Allie told TMZ she hasn't spoken to him and they are never getting back together. She said 6 days doesn't fix it.
A completely rational response to a man using a brief wellness retreat as a get-out-of-jail-free card. She's focusing entirely on her family.
Focus on your family, Allie. But squad, speaking of family, we have to end our news segment with truly devastating news. I want us to drop the snark completely for a minute here.
British reality star Jake Hall from The Only Way Is, Essex, has died at the age of 35. Authorities describe it as a tragic accident while vacationing in Mallorca, Spain.
It is so awful. He reportedly suffered fatal head wounds after accidentally smashing into a glass door at a rental property. The Spanish civil guard stated there is no foul play.
The ripple effects make this truly devastating. Jake leaves behind an 8-year-old daughter, River, with his ex-fiancée, Missy Bakiri from Ladies of London.
My heart just aches for Missy and that little girl. Missy released a statement asking for privacy and compassion to protect their child as they grieve.
It puts everything we discuss into stark perspective. These are real human beings with fragile lives facing a permanent reality.
It really does. Babes, please send your love and prayers to Missy and Little River today. Losing a parent at 8 years old is a pain no child should know. We are keeping them in our hearts.
We certainly are. And as we process that weight, it requires a difficult shift to return to our own day. We have to recalibrate our minds.
We do. Deep, grounding breath. Because the real world is heavy. And our little corner of it is demanding our attention. We have to face the rest of this Thursday workday.
The dental shifts await. The waiting rooms are full, patient charts are stacked, and the drill must be wielded. We have to pack up our McDonald's cups and transition back into healthcare professionals.
Babes, I am going to need another one of these frappes by lunch. There is simply no way I'm surviving the 2 p.m. slump without another hit of caramel and crushed ice.
It is a physiological certainty, and let us not forget the looming specter of our evening plans. The Italian class delusion is rapidly approaching.
Oh my gosh, do not remind me. Whatever microscopic shreds of Italian vocabulary I reviewed this morning have completely vanished from my brain. Are we actually going to try and study in the break room tonight, or are we just going to vibe and hope for the best?
Knowing our patterns, we will attempt to study for 4 minutes, become overwhelmed by the subjunctive tense, and resort entirely to the vibe and hope methodology.
Babes, if I accidentally order something offensive in Italian tonight, I'm blaming the caffeine. I am washing my hands of any grammatical liability.
We're about to walk into our dental offices with confidence and absolutely no preparation. It is the only way to tackle a Thursday of this magnitude.
It truly is. But honestly, squad, before we go put on our scrubs and masks, we just want to say thank you.
Yes.
Genuinely. We love you guys so much. We appreciate you hanging out with us every morning, sipping your coffees, whether they're $9 or $2, and navigating this crazy world with us. This conversation, this community is your safe space.
And if you found some solace, distraction, or just agreed with our outrage over weaponized incompetence today, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us keep the frappes flowing.
Yes. And share this mess with a friend who needs a distraction. All right, babes, take a deep breath, go crush your Thursday, and remember, stay caffeinated, stay messy.
And we will see you on the Snark side.